Let us see origin of quantum theory and failures of classical mechanics. The history of quantum mechanics is a fundamental part of the history of modern physics. The failures of classical mechanics, which includes Newton's laws of motion, inverse law of gravitational attraction between two bodies, Coulomb's inverse law of attraction or repulsion between two charged bodies, law of force on a moving charge in a magnetic field given by Lorentz force, led to the development of quantum mechanics. To overcome the discrepancy, German scientist Max Planck in 1900 proposed his new theory, and this new theory is known as the old quantum theory. While observing the origin of quantum theory, this block diagram is very important. In this block diagram, there are four parts. First one is Newtonian physics. Second one is special relativity, quantum field theory, and quantum physics. We will see one by one. Newtonian physics is also known as regular old classical physics. Classical mechanics is the study of large objects as opposed to quantum mechanics, and this is based on Newton's laws of motion, hence this is called as Newtonian physics. After that, when the things get fast, means there is a relation of velocity of light, then we observed such a theory is known as the special theory of relativity. Already we have studied this theory in the BSc second year. After that, when the things are small and fast, then the quantum field theory, then when the things get small, then the quantum physics is introduced. In 1900, quantum hypothesis by Max Planck that any energy radiating atomic system can theoretically be divided into a number of discrete energy elements such that each of these energy element is proportional to the frequency nu with which each of them individually radiate energy as defined by the formula, that is energy E is equal to h nu. In the year 1905, Albert Einstein explained the photoelectric effect previously reported by the Hertz in 1887, postulated consistently with Max Planck's quantum hypothesis that light itself is made of individual quantum particles, which in 1926 came to be called photons by Lewis. The photoelectric effect was observed upon shining light of a particular wavelength on a certain material such as metals, which caused electrons ejected from those materials only if the light quantum energy was greater than the work function of the metal surface. The quantum mechanics was coined by group of physicists, that is Max Planck, Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr, Louis de Broglie, Max Born, Pauli, Heisenberg, Schrödinger, etc. Now we will see the basic difference between the classical mechanics and the quantum mechanics. Classical mechanics or Newtonian mechanics and Maxwell's equation, that is electromagnetic theory, shows the study of macroscopic phenomena such as motion of billiard balls or rockets. And quantum mechanics is used to explain microscopic phenomena such as photon, atomic scattering, and the flow of electrons in a semiconductor. The behavior of microscopic particle is different from that of a classical particle. In some experiments, it resembles the behavior of a classical wave, not localized in a space. In other experiments, it behaves as a classical particle. Now, while observing the introduction, quantum mechanics is to explain the behavior of matter and interaction with energy on the scale of atom and atomic particle of the size 10 to the power minus 10 meter. Phenomena such as motion of mechanical objects involving distances larger than about 10 to the power minus 6 meter can be explained by using the theoretical classical physics. Classical physics based on various Newton's laws of motion. The law of force on moving charge in a magnetic field, that is Lorentz force. The classical mechanics could not be explained by certain phenomena such as spectral distribution of energy in a black body radiation, photoelectric effect, phenomena involving distances of the order of 10 to the power minus 10 meter can't explain through classical mechanics. The above limitations explained by Max Planck in 1900 by using the revolutionary concept of quantum hypothesis, and such a hypothesis is called as origin of quantum theory. Now, the failures of classical mechanics. First failure is stability of atom. According to classical mechanics, the atom is stable when the electron revolves around the nucleus in a circular orbit. It has an acceleration. Any accelerating charge emits the radiation, hence the electron during its motion around the nucleus should have emitted the energy continuously. As a result, the radius of revolution would have reduced continuously, and ultimately the electron would have merged into the nucleus. This is against the stability. Hence, classical theory could not explain the stability of atoms and molecules. This is the first failure of the classical mechanics. Second failure is the spectral distribution of black body radiation. Classical physics explain the energy changes on radiation takes place continuously. The quantity and quality of heat radiation depends on the temperature of the body and not on the nature of the body. It cannot explain black body radiation spectrum, which assumes the energy changes of radiation takes place continuously. Then, according to Wien's law, lambda mt is equal to constant and Em, that is emissive power, is proportional to T raised to 5. In first relation, wavelength corresponding to maximum emitted energy decreases in temperature, and second relation shows direct variation of emissive power with fifth power of absolute temperature. And this is the second failure of the classical mechanics, that is the spectral distribution of energy. Now, again there are two parts. For shorter wavelength, Wien's law is applicable, that is E lambda d lambda is equal to A upon lambda raised to 5 f of lambda t into d lambda. For longer wavelengths, Rayleigh-Jean's law shows E lambda is equal to 8 pi kt divided by lambda raised to 5. From these, Rayleigh-Jean's and Wien's law do not agree with the experimental results. In Rayleigh-Jean's law, the energy increases with limit as the wavelength decreases. Such a consequence are called as ultraviolet catastrophe. Then there are some limitations. E lambda tends to infinity as lambda tends to 0. Next failure is that the atomic spectra. Characteristic frequency in above, the shorter wavelength equation is called as Wien's law, and for longer wavelength equation is known as the Rayleigh-Jeans law. Already we know that the ultraviolet catastrophe, but again we will revise it. Rayleigh-Jeans law and Wien's law do not agree with the experimental results of blackbody radiation. In Rayleigh-Jeans law, energy increases without limit as a wavelength decreases. Such a catastrophe or consequence are known as the ultraviolet catastrophe. Having the limit is E lambda tends to infinity as lambda tends to 0. The next failure is the atomic spectra. Characteristic frequency emission or absorption by the elements is not possible with the help of classical mechanics. The regularities among the spectral lines, the specific heat of solids at low temperature can't be explained. The blackbody radiation, the quantity and quality of the emitted radiation depends on the temperature of the blackbody and not on the nature of the material of the body. This cannot be explained with the help of classical mechanics, photoelectric effect, photoelectric emission and scattering of free electrons, such as Compton effect, cannot be explained with the help of classical mechanics. Also, emission of X-rays, radioactivity and other nuclear activities cannot be explained. Next article is blackbody radiation. Blackbody radiation is the thermal electromagnetic radiation within or surrounding a body in a thermodynamic equilibrium with its environment emitted by a blackbody. It has a specific spectrum of wavelengths inversely related to intensity that depends only on the body's temperature, which is assumed for the sake of calculation and theory to be uniform and constant. The term blackbody was introduced by Kirchhoff in 1860. Blackbody radiation is also called as thermal radiation, cavity radiation, complete radiation, or temperature radiation. The thermal radiation spontaneously emitted by many ordinary objects can be approximated as blackbody radiation. A perfectly insulated enclosure that is in a thermal equilibrium internally contains blackbody radiation and will emit it through a hole made in its wall, provided the hole is small enough to have a negligible effect upon the equilibrium. Also, in a dark room, a black body at room temperature appears black because most of the energy it radiates is in the infrared spectrum. Now we will see black body. The body which absorbs all the heat radiations corresponding to all wavelengths incident on it is called as black body. Black body radiation. When a body is placed inside an isothermal enclosure, it will emit the full radiations of the enclosure after it is in equilibrium with the enclosure. These radiations are independent of nature of the substance. Such a body is called as black body radiations. It should be noted that perfectly black body is an ideal concept similar to a perfect gas which does not exist. That is, it cannot be 100% realized in actual practice. The platinum black surface absorbs 98% and lamp black absorbs 96% of the incident radiation. Black body radiation A body emits radiation when it is heated. The emitted radiations from the hot body is called as the thermal radiations. Such heat radiations placed in a uniform enclosure are known as black body radiation. The perfectly black body absorbs all the radiations falling on it. Then it has coefficient of absorption. This coefficient of absorption is called as absorptivity, and this absorptivity is equal to 1. It emits radiations of all wavelengths for wavelength 0 to infinity. It has coefficient of emission, that is emissivity is equal to 1. As we know that the amount of radiation is different for different wavelengths. Hence, there is the distribution of energy is important, and this distribution of energy is investigated by the Lummer and Pringsing with the help of experimental arrangement shown in the figure. Figure shows S1 and S2 are two slits, M1 and M2 are two concave mirrors, and at the center there is the fluorospar prism is kept. The radiation from a black body passes through the slit S1 and falls on the reflector M1, which passes through the fluorospar prism kept on the rotating table of spectrometer. The emergent light is focused by the concave mirror reflector M2 on a line bolometer placed behind the slit S2. The bolometer is connected to a sensitive galvanometer. The turntable is slowly rotated so that the different parts of the radiation spectrum successively falls on the bolometer, and the corresponding deflection in the galvanometer are recorded. The intensity of each line is proportional to the deflection in the galvanometer. Then the curve is drawn between the intensity and the wavelength lambda. Again we will revise the experimental arrangement and method. Experimental arrangement made by Lummer and Pringsing in 1899 to determine the distribution of energy for different wavelengths at different temperatures. The carbon tube is heated electrically at S1. Then radiations from this tube are allowed to incident on the concave mirror M1 through the slit S1. The parallel reflected beam is dispersed by a fluorospar prism and focused on a line bolometer by using mirror M2. The deflection in the galvanometer is proportional to the energy of heat radiation. Then the curve is drawn between intensity and the wavelength lambda and predicted the different results of the black body radiation energy distribution. This slide shows the graphical presentation of the distribution of energy and its results for different temperatures. For the different temperatures, the different colors are to be used, and that is shown in this slide. Also, the general result is that when the temperature increases, the emissive power is also increases. After some time, it can be decreases in all the curves. Now we will see the conclusion from the graph. The first point is, at a given temperature, the energy is not uniformly distributed in the radiation spectrum of a black body. At a given temperature, the intensity of heat radiation increases with increase in wavelength, and at a particular wavelength, its value is maximum. With further increase in wavelength, the intensity of heat radiation decreases. With increase in temperature, lambda m decreases. Lambda m is wavelength at which maximum emission of energy takes place. Figure shows maximum emission by using the dotted line for various temperatures. For all wavelengths, an increase in temperature causes an increase in energy emission. The area under the curve represents the total energy emitted for the complete spectrum of a particular temperature. We also observed this area increases with increase in temperature of the body, and that is directly proportional to fourth power of the temperature of the body. Mathematically, we can express it E is directly proportional to T raised to 4. An increase in temperature causes a decrease in lambda m, where lambda m is the wavelength for which the energy emitted is maximum, such that lambda m into T is equal to constant, and this is called as Wien's displacement law. When we see the Wien's displacement law, the curve of a blackbody spectrum obtained by Lummer and Pringsheim was tried to explain by Wien's and Rayleigh-Jean's law, applying the existing classical mechanics. The next article is linear momentum of photon in terms of wave vector. The fundamental relation of quantum mechanics, which correlates the momentum of a quantum particle to the wave vector of the matter wave, is represented. Now, the next article is linear momentum of photon in terms of wave vector. We know that the conservation of linear momentum. It is the general law of physics according to which the quantity called momentum that characterizes motion never changes in the isolated collection of objects. That is, the total momentum of the system remains constant. The total momentum is the sum of individual momenta. There is a peculiarity, however, in that momentum is a vector involving both the direction and magnitude of the motion, so that the momenta of objects going in opposite direction can cancel to yield an overall sum of 0. Now, photon is a particle of zero rest mass. Its dynamical variables are energy and momenta. It has zero charge and spin equal to quantum units, that is h upon 2 pi is equal to h cross. H cross is reduced Planck's constant. We know the energy E is equal to h nu, but nu is equal to c by lambda, then energy E is equal to hc by lambda. According to Einstein, energy E is equal to mc square. Therefore, h nu is equal to h nu upon c square. Now, momentum is equal to mass into velocity. Momentum can be represented by letter P, that is equal to h nu upon c square into c. C and c square get cancelled, that is equal to h nu by c, that is equal to h by lambda, because nu is equal to c by lambda. The photon behaves as a small elastic sphere. When photon collides with an electron, both momentum and energy are conserved. When X-rays of frequency nu collide with an electron of mass m, then we can write the magnitude of the linear momentum of photon of wavelength lambda, that momentum p is equal to h upon lambda. Divide and multiply by 2 pi, we get h upon 2 pi into 2 pi upon lambda is equal to h upon 2 pi mod of k. Here 2 pi upon lambda is called as the magnitude of wave vector, and that can be represented by mod of k, and h upon 2 pi is equal to h cross, that is reduced Planck's constant. Therefore, momentum p can be equal to h cross mod of k. Above equation shows linear momentum of photon in terms of wave vector k, and this is the proof of the linear momentum of photon in terms of the wave vector. Now, photon energy in terms of angular velocity. We know that energy E is equal to hc upon lambda. C by lambda is equal to nu, that is equal to h nu, because we know that nu is equal to c by lambda and lambda is equal to nu by E. Divide and multiply this equation by 2 pi, we get energy E is equal to h upon 2 pi into 2 pi nu. But 2 pi nu is equal to omega and h upon 2 pi is equal to h cross. Then energy of the photon in terms of angular velocity can be written as energy E is equal to h cross omega.